Hey guys, my name is Jason Lanier and I'm going to show you how to set up your A7 III or pretty much any Sony Mirrorless for that matter. So if you're watching this, you're probably one of the many people out there who have bought this brand new camera. This camera's selling like hotcakes, sold out all over the place, and I want to share with you guys how I've set mine up. I'm very fortunate. I was given a camera by Sony ahead of time and was able to use it prior to the launch. One of the most frequent questions I get from my followers is, how do you set up your camera, Jason? So what I'm going to show you guys is how I set it up. And again, most of this is going to apply to most of the Sony Mirrorless out there. There's a lot of commonality and crossover between this body and other bodies out there. So the first thing we're going to do is open this guy up. Now, I'm not a huge fan of unboxing videos. I think unboxing videos are kind of so 2016, if you will. What I'm going to do is, this is kind of my version of unboxing. There's a camera strap. Here's the body. Comes in this nice little foil wrap. Again, who cares? I don't use these straps, by the way. They don't hold any weight, so I never use these. I'll put another strap, or if you guys watch my videos, you know I really don't use straps at all. But if I did use straps, it would be one of the ones that hold weight. You can get some cheap ones from like Optech USA. What else is in this thing? There is a little plug-in for the wall, USB plug-in that you can do with this. And then there is the battery. This battery is great. It lasts a lot longer than the previous versions of the Sony Mirrorless cameras. First thing people have commented, there's no charger that comes with this outside of this guy here. Yeah, you can use this to charge. I guess this is great to charge like a cell phone or something, but I don't really use that either. So this is what I use. This is called the Sony multi-battery adapter. Why do I use this? It takes 4 batteries and I can charge all 4 batteries. So when I'm done for the day, if I happen to burn through a ton of batteries, typically one of these batteries will last me a whole day. But if I burn through a ton of batteries and or we're doing a lot of video work, because I use these cameras for a lot of video work at this point, this guy is invaluable because I just plug it in. Now this isn't cheap. This is like, I don't know, 300 bucks or something. But if you're into serious kind of work, this is seriously what you need. The other thing I love about it is it has this little plug-in right here. So I can just take this and plug this in, and now it's going to use these 4 batteries. Okay, so if I'm doing video work and I need this to last for days and days, and or heavy video work, heavy use of the camera, and you never want to worry about it, this is what you do. First thing we're going to do is select our language, set area and time. I'm over here in the West Coast. What I'm going to do now, guys, is just show you the most important button on this camera by far is the FN button. Technically, Sony told me it stands for Fedora Nation, but I think some people think it makes function. For those who are new to Sony, because I know there's a lot of people switching over right now from Canon and such, this is your main button. If you press that FN button, it is going to be your main go-to to get to the main things that you're going to use on your camera. For the focus mode, there's no lens on it right now, but when there is, I'm going to choose autofocus continuous. That tends to give me the best results. A focus area, I'm always going to have it on wide. Okay, hit the function button again. And then the rest of these I'll use as needed when I'm shooting. Okay, I don't ever set a creative style because honestly that's for JPEG, which I do not shoot. So now let's get into the menu system. Okay, and at the menu, file format, I'm going to change it to RAW. Okay, RAW file type, compressed. JPEG quality, if and when you need to shoot JPEGs, I would just as a default have that to extra fine just in case. Long exposure noise reduction, that's if you're shooting JPEGs, it's going to reduce the noise. If you leave it on when you are shooting any sort of like a landscape or whatever, it takes a long time to process after the shot's taken, so I leave that off. I leave pretty much all of these the same. The autofocus with shutter, I do yes. I do yes on the autofocus with shutter. I do not like back button focus. I think it's a waste of time for me and my work. If you like it for yours, use it. All of these I leave default, flash. These are pretty much default. White balance, I'm going to do a separate video on how I do white balance, but just for the sake of this video and for what I normally do, it's on auto unless I use a gray card or go with a Kelvin. These like DRO, dynamic range optimization, auto HDR, none of that matters if you shoot RAW, so who cares, don't worry about it. Picture profile, again, shoot RAW, doesn't matter. Manual focus assist, I definitely leave to on. Peaking setting, okay, that's important if you do use focus peaking, any sort of manual focus work, anything like that. You're going to go to peaking display, you're going to turn on. Peaking level, I'm going to go to high because I want to see it. Peaking color, I'm going to go to red. Next, I'm going to go to anti-flicker shoot, I'm going to turn that on. Then I'm going to go to face registration. That's only if you're doing something like a wedding. That's not the same as smile face detect, that's different. File format, I'm going to go to a 4K video. I'm going to choose 24p60m, that stands for 24 frames per second. 60 megabits per second. The 24 frames per second gives you more of a cinematic look when you're filming, and the 60 megabits per second gives you smaller file size, which is helpful if you're shooting a lot of stuff like I do. I'm going to put a lens on the camera. This is a 55 1.8, just so I can access some of these options here. Okay, so here we are in the menu. Now this is all for the movie drive modes. Autofocus drive speed, I'm going to turn to fast. Autofocus tracking sensor. The way that this works is standard means it stays on one subject more than it moves around. So if you have me standing here and you have somebody that's going to move in and out of the frame, if you want that frame to stay on me when you're movie mode, you're going to leave it on standard. If you want it more responsive when someone moves forward and you want it to pick up on the person in front of me, then you go to responsive. I typically pick responsive because I move around a lot in my videos and I don't want the autofocus to stay mainly static. I want it to be more responsive, so that's where I leave it. Audio recording, leave on. Audio level display, I want on. Silent shooting, I'm going to leave that off for now, but I'm going to show you how I turn that on with a custom button. E-front curtain shutter, I want that on. If I leave it off, it's going to sound like this. If I leave it off, it's like this. You reduce the sound of the shutter by half by leaving that the electronic front curtain shutter on. Release without lens, I'm going to leave that enabled. The reason I do that is if I take a lens off and I have like the front cap on it and I want to test something, that release without lens is helpful. It also really helps if you're utilizing something with like adapted lenses. A lot of the times release without lenses, it's better to leave it like that. Release without card, I also enable that. And what that means is it'll fire. Steady shot I leave on. Again, it's leaving, it's showing the finder monitor out only because right now I'm linked to a monitor, so I can show this to you. The grid line, I'm going to leave to the rule of thirds grid. Live view setting effect on or off, I'm going to leave that on. That's a huge benefit of mirrorless cameras, is what you see is what you get. Auto review, this is an important one for me. I'm going to put that to 2 seconds. I'd rather have it popping up and I can see the shots rather than chimping all the time and having to stop and press play. And the auto review, it's great. If you don't need to look at the shot and you just keep pressing the shutter, it goes away. I mean, there's nothing you have to do. Custom keys, this is when we get into it. There's custom keys for movies and there's custom keys for stills. I'm going to cover the custom keys with stills in this video. All right, so for the control wheel, I'm going to choose autofocus left and right, or autofocus point up or down, so you can choose that. For custom button number 1, I'm going to do auto APS-C versus full frame selection. This is very important for me. If I want to quickly in my camera go from shooting full frame to APS-C, I choose this. So now when I hit this button, I don't have to go into the menu to do this. You see that? I'm going immediately from full frame to APS-C. Full frame, APS-C. That's pretty cool. I love that function. Keep in mind when you switch to APS-C, it is reducing resolution. So just keep that in mind by about half. But that's a much better way to compose an image versus cropping in post. Custom button 2, I'm going to do silent shooting. Why? I may need be in the middle of a shoot or doing whatever I need to do. If I'm sitting here and shooting, there's my camera recording me right now. If I'm sitting there shooting, okay, and I'm like, crap, I don't want to make any noise, I hit custom button 2, silent shooting on. I want it to be quick. I want to be able to make a quick decision. Okay, so that's what I do with that. Custom button 3, I'm going to go to the Finder Monitor Select. The reason I choose to utilize that is very simple. Sometimes when you're out shooting, if dust or something gets into your camera or into the viewfinder, it actually thinks that your eye's against it, so you can't see it. So if you're down at the beach or in the desert or somewhere and a little bit of dust gets into this area of the viewfinder, what it does is it thinks your eye's up there, so it doesn't show you the picture. So when you pull your head back and you want to see the screen, it won't show you the screen. This overrides that. So choosing that to have as a custom key, for me, being able to just quickly choose that is very, very, very important. Last but certainly not least is custom button 4, and that's touch operation selected. I like this. I like this where it sits. I like to have this on the touch operation selection. Now I can turn the touch operation on, or I can turn it off. Okay, so it toggles it on or off, on or off. If you're shooting in the back of this and your face is against it, if you like to shoot through the viewfinder and your face is hitting the back of that screen, it's going to hit the touchpad. It is. So if that's annoying you and you want to quickly get out of that, I leave that custom button for that purpose. Also, if you quickly go between shooting stills like I do, shooting stills and going to the video, choosing this is great because now I can turn it on and now I can touch the screen and I can set my focus. And let me show you what that does. When I hit the down button, it shows live view settings effect to on or off. And the reason that's important is, as you can see, it's showing me live view settings effect, which I really like. But if I'm shooting with flash and I need to see more ambient light to be able to set my flash, you need that setting effect to off. It's one reason I say that an optical viewfinder is inferior to an electronic viewfinder, because you can get both with this, to be honest with you. So I don't know why anyone would choose just to have an optical viewfinder when you can have the best of both worlds. I'm going to go to control with smartphone. I'm going to turn that on. Okay. I'm going to make a connection, get my iPhone. I'm going to choose the network. So right there, as you can see on the screen, it says Direct M6 LC whatever 7M3. I'm going to select that. I'm going to put the password in. So now I can access it. Airplane mode. A lot of people turn the airplane mode on because it conserves battery. I don't do airplane mode on, honestly, because I don't give a crap about the batteries. I buy an extra battery and I utilize the full functionality of my camera. I don't want to have to turn my camera off of airplane mode every time I want to transfer a shot. So to me, buy an extra battery, be done with it. That's what I do, at least. Wi-Fi settings, all of this I don't care about because I've already set my Wi-Fi up. Display rotation, I want this auto, so that way when you shoot vertically, it actually will come back and display the image vertically. Okay, monitor brightness. The reason it's disabled is because I'm obviously hooked up to an external monitor. So go into manual settings and hit +2 to increase the brightness on it. That's what you want to do with that. Okay, volume settings, you can select this to whatever fits your fancy. I've never really played with it too much. I don't care. Delete, confirm, cancel, yes. I like that in case you want to leave that on. Okay. Display quality, I always turn this to high. Power save, yeah, 1 minute works for me. Down here in copyright info, you can, if you want to have your camera write the copyright information for you, you can. You can put your name in here. I'm not going to do that just for time's sake, but you can do all of this. Yes, I would recommend doing this. Display copyright info, there you go. I would recommend doing that, guys. I would protect your work because there's some real pieces of crap out there who steal other people's work and they suck. It's been done to me multiple times. People stealing my crap all the time. They can go pound sand because they can't shoot what I shoot. I mean, if you can shoot what I shoot, you ain't got to steal what I shoot. Okay, set file name. And me personally, I just put my initials, which are JAL. Record media settings is where you would select exactly how you want your card slots to write the information. Okay, so you can select slot 1 or 2. You can decide if you wanted to simultaneously do shots. You can also sort RAW and JPEG, one to one slot, one to the other, and do whatever you'd like. It's totally up to you, or you can flip it around and do movie and stills. So, all right, so for the memory card slots, for the most part, those are the options that you have available to you. What I'm primarily going to do is this. I'm going to sort and have slot 1 do my stills and slot 2 do my video. My menu settings, this is cool if you guys want to add a bunch of stuff to that, that's fine. That's totally up to you. You can make your own menu. The reason Sony did this was because people were griping about their menus. So go into my menu and make it exactly how you want it. If you hate the Sony menu system, which I think has gotten better, but if you hate it, make your own. I think that that's awesome that they created a menu system that you can absolutely choose whatever you want. And for me personally, all of the things that I just showed you in this video, for my menu settings, I would just add that stuff. Just the stuff that I know I'm going to use. Everything else, who cares, right? And so if you don't want to sort through all your stuff, create your own menu setting. You can go here and say, okay, in my menu, I want it to have file format. Okay? So now it's added, right? So let me go back here. Okay? So see, now in my menu, it's file format. So if you don't like what Sony did with the menu system, this is your perfect chance to make your menu the way you understand it and only add the items you want. So I think for that purpose, it's fantastic. I'm just trying to provide information for people out there because I know a lot of people have questions and I'm trying to have answers. So until next time, keep shooting, never give up on your dreams, find a rig that works for you, and remember, you only have one chance to get it right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Enjoy this camera. It's a game changer. Peace. This is the Sony multi-battery adapter. All right, this is a cool place to shoot. Get the gear out. Let's, this is awesome. Huh?
Let me have your stuff. You're dirty. That's what you get for not putting me in a magazine.
You I hate models.
And take your stupid camera too.
One-handed baby.
Ooh, spending money. All right.
She's totally not going on the next trip. Oh. Santa María Guadalupe. Only one chance to get it right. Are you still there? I'm talking to you. If you want to continue this madness online and learn anywhere from the world with me, go to patreon.com/JasonLanierPhotography. And if you want to join this madness, and yes, my crazy but awesome models, go to jasonlanier.com/register and you guys can party and shoot with us anywhere in the world. So until next time, keep shooting. Never give up on your dreams. Find a right gear that works for you, and remember, you only have one chance to get it right. Allie, where's my money? Allie? She freaking left.